Today on People Now, historic wins for women in the midterms.
We are counting down to the holidays with the royals, how Harry and Meghan will spend their last Christmas before welcoming their baby.
New details about Kaitlyn Bristow's Bachelorette breakup. What went wrong?
And Sexiest Week Alive continues. The sexiest Matt, Jason, and more have been announced.
Plus, singer-songwriter Bastian Baker is here.
It's live today on People Now.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to People Now. People's 2018 Sexiest Man Alive is, of course, Idris Elba. Still pumped for that?
Happy about
a little bit. In this week's Sexiest Man Alive issue, Usher is also getting sexy with his pet and introducing us to his doodle, Scarlett. Super adorable. Look at this.
So we want you to send in some pictures of your pets. So tweet us using the hashtag PeopleNow.
We're going to show you Usher with his dog and check in on those pics of your pets a little later. But first, yesterday wasn't just Sexiest Man Alive Day. I don't know if you heard. It was also the midterms. Yeah. History was most certainly made in several ways. Watch this.
On a night when men and women are winning up and down the ballot, this is a historic night for us.
That was Democrat Jackie Rosen celebrating her win over Nevada's incumbent Republican Senator Dean Heller. She wasn't the only woman with cause for celebration. More than 100 women were elected into Congress on Tuesday night. The numbers largely favored Democrats, with 84 projected House winners and 14 from the Republican side. Some historic wins include New York's Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who was the youngest woman ever elected to Congress. The self-described Democratic Socialist will represent parts of the Bronx and Queens. Now, Congress also gained two of its first Muslim women elected to the House, Rashida Tlaib out of Michigan and Ilhan Omar out of Minnesota. Its first Native American women, Sharice Davids, a former MMA fighter who identifies as LGBTQ, out of Kansas, and Deb Holland, a single mother out of New Mexico. In Massachusetts, Ayanna Pressley became the state's first black woman elected to Congress. She had this to say about her win.
When it comes to women of color candidates, folks don't just talk about a glass ceiling. What they describe is a concrete one. But you know what breaks through concrete? Seismic shifts.
The historic wins cap off a campaign season largely defined by female activism. That activism was celebrated Tuesday in Rochester, New York, at the gravesite of Susan B. Anthony. Female voters plastered "I voted" stickers on the late suffragist's gravestone, an activity that's become an Election Day tradition. Female voters visited the Mount Hope Cemetery in 2016 when Hillary Clinton was running to be the first female president of the United States. Now on to this. There's still one race that is undecided. Stacey Abrams telling reporters she will not concede in the race for Georgia's governor. Abrams is currently trailing Republican candidate Brian Kemp by about 2%, but remains optimistic as votes continue to pour in.
But I'm here tonight to tell you votes remain to be counted. There are voices that were waiting to be heard. Across our state, folks are opening up the dreams of voters in absentee ballots. And we believe our chance for a stronger Georgia is just within reach. But we cannot seize it until all voices are heard.
Abrams' race has captured national attention as high-profile celebrities from Oprah and Will Ferrell to Common and Real Housewives star Kandi Burruss have all vouched their support for the Democrat. If Abrams wins, she will become the first black female governor in American history, also the first Democrat to win Georgia's governor's race in 2 decades. Meanwhile, if neither candidate earns more than 50% of the total vote, there'll be another first for Georgia, the first general election gubernatorial runoff in the state's history. The runoff election would be held December 4th, all that according to NBC News. Well, guys, there are just 48 days to go until Christmas. Yes, we are already counting it down. This year marks the second time Meghan Markle spends Christmas at Sandringham. It's the Queen's country estate. This Christmas is a big one. It'll be her and husband Prince Harry's last before their first child is born in the spring. Now, in a break with tradition, Meghan's mother, Doria Ragland, has reportedly been invited by the Queen to join the royal family for their Christmas festivities. For comparison, Kate Middleton's parents and siblings have joined the royal family for Christmas church service in the past, but they've never stayed at Sandringham. But then again, Meghan herself actually broke tradition last year when she attended while she and Harry were just engaged. Kate didn't join the gang until after she and Prince William were officially married. Sounds like the more the merrier this year, and we're all here for it, of course. Doria has met the Queen before. The women had tea together at Windsor Castle the day before Harry and Meghan's wedding in May. And though she still lives in the States, Doria has been very involved in Harry and Meghan's post-wedding lives, even standing by to support her daughter as Meghan hosted her first palace event to launch her cookbook in September. Well, guys, an unearthed video of the late rapper Mac Miller is bringing back bittersweet memories for his ex-girlfriend Ariana Grande, one day after People confirmed that Miller's September death was due to an accidental overdose of fentanyl, cocaine, and alcohol. A fan sent Grande a recording of an Instagram Live that Miller taped in August. Now, in the footage, Miller is listening to Grande's song R.E.M. off her new album Sweetener. Ariana replied to the fan, "His voice and laugh, he's supposed to be here," and she added, "Thank you for finding this." Now, an insider told People in September that Ariana, quote, completely broke down after she found out about Mac. She can't believe he isn't here anymore. He was such a special person to her. She's very, very sad. This is a nightmare for her. That's according to that source. And Miller received a shout out in Ariana's latest single saying, "Thank you next," or the single's titled "Thank You Next." She recalls past romances in it, and she sings, "Wish I could say thank you to Malcolm because he was an angel." And guys, stay tuned. We'll have more on Ariana in just a minute, including a peek at her first live performance of Thank You Next. That's coming up. Bachelor Nation was rocked when Kaitlyn Bristowe and Shawn announced they were calling it quits on Friday after 3 years together. We're so sad to hear this. An insider tells People just how hard Bristowe fought to keep the split from happening. That insider says, quote, "This was the last thing Kaitlyn wanted." Now, in the end, Bristowe, quote, really tried to make it work, but you need two people to do that, according to the source. The former couple got engaged in 2015 at the end of Bristow's season of The Bachelorette. They'd been living together in Nashville since then, but hadn't made any wedding plans yet, which was a sticking point for 33-year-old Bristowe. That's according to that source. And the source says it's only natural to think about the next steps, marriage and kids, when you've been together for 3 years. Kaitlyn wants those things, but it didn't seem like they were on the same page. The insider confirmed that the final decision to go their separate ways was mutual, noting that time apart also contributed to the split, with Booth busy owning a gym in Nashville and Bristowe traveling often for work. Now, as for how Bristow's doing today, the source says, quote, "Kaitlyn is devastated. She never thought this would happen. She's focused on work and her budding music career and trying to get through the heartbreak." Of course, we wish her the best. That's sad news for the Bachelor Nation.
I know, I'm sad about that, but hopefully they can all move on. All right. On to this, 15,000 readers voted, and we have the results. That is right. We're going to tell you who the winners are for the sexiest Matt alive.
Oh, I've been waiting on this.
And it was a tight race, you guys. Two former sexiest men are battling it out, Matt Damon and Matthew McConaughey, plus the Crown star Matt Smith. Rounding out the Matts are Viper Club star Matt Bomer and Matthew Reese.
That's not the only battle we'll be watching, People. Who is People's sexiest Michael? It's a tough one. With Olympian Michael Phelps taking on super lawyer Michael Avenatti, we really broadened out the horizon here for possible candidates. Creed and Black Panther star Michael B. Jordan, GMA host Michael Strahan, and Oscar nominee Michael Fassbender. There can only be one. Stay tuned for that result.
But really the question you've all been wondering, who is the sexiest Jason?
This is the one.
Is it the geek in the pink himself, Jason Mraz? Is it Aquaman, Jason Momoa? Badass Jason Statham, country star Jason Aldean? We cannot forget Jason Derulo. Stay tuned for those results. It's all very close races here.
I have no idea. I have no guess on that.
I don't know, but first we're kicking off Star Trek today with a little Ari love. Take a look at this.
I know this, oh my God, on too fast, but this one gonna last.
Ariana Grande knows how to move on, even when she stumbles. The singer brought her new breakup anthem, Thank You Next, to The Ellen Show in a First Wives Club-style performance. Didn't let a little slip-up stop her from getting right back into the song. Later in the performance, she appeared to sing through tears as she tackled the lyrics, "One day I'll walk down the aisle, holding hands with my mama. I'll be thanking my dad because she grew from the drama." But don't worry, Ari was able to power through and finish off the performance dancing and laughing. Grande wrote the song after breaking off her engagement to SNL comedian Pete Davidson. A source close to Grande says the two, quote, have no contact now, and she keeps moving forward. She seems very happy and positive. She isn't talking about dating and is instead focused on work and herself. The song reviews her relationships with Davidson, Ricky Alvarez, Big Sean, and the late Mac Miller, while the chorus declares that Grande is, quote, so bleeping grateful for my ex. The same night she dropped the new song, Davidson offered kind words about Grande during SNL's Weekend Update, saying, quote, she's a wonderful, strong person, and I genuinely wish her all the happiness in the world. All right, in case you missed it, Idris Elba is this year's sexiest man alive, and hello! There are lots of things that make the actor a super sexy choice. For starters, he has his own clothing collab, he races cars, and fun fact, he's a rapper and a DJ. It's true. He even curated his own sexy Spotify playlist. I don't know if you guys saw this. It has Marvin Gaye's Let's Get It On, Bob Marley's Turn Your Lights Down Low, Al Green's Let's Stay Together. I don't know, the man knows his tunes.
It's a good list.
It's a pretty good list. But one of the sexiest things things about the British hunk is his heart-melting role as a dad. Idris is the dad to 4-year-old Winston and 16-year-old Isan. And Idris says he's all about hugs, kisses, and lots of I love yous, adding, I'm sure my daughter is like, all right, Dad, chill out, but my son is still at the age where he loves to cuddle. Very cute. Don't ever leave that stage. We should always love to cuddle. And when he's not being busy, being one of Hollywood's hottest dads, he is packing on the romance with fiancée Sabrina. Idris says he knew Sabrina was the one because she makes him laugh, adding that they share common goals and that she celebrates his successes. Sounds like a solid relationship to me. The pair are currently planning their upcoming wedding. There's only one thing Idris has requested. He wants about 19 DJs. A lot of DJs. I don't know if you need that many, but the man is a DJ himself. It's all about the music, apparently. To read more about our sexy man, make sure to pick up your copy of People on newsstands everywhere Friday. And we asked 15,000 People readers who the sexiest Matt alive was. I know you guys are waiting for this moment. Matt Damon, Matthew McConaughey, Matt Smith, Matt Bomer, or Matthew Rhys. It was a tough one. Jeremy, who's your pick?
I'm gonna say it's McConaughey.
You know what? America says it's Matt Bomer.
Oh,
all right,
wow, yeah,
sexiest
okay.
Matt alive, Matt Bomer. I agree with this. Look at him. Those eyes. He beat out 2 former sexiest men alive for the title. So
He was in here not long ago.
congrats to
I'll admit
Matt.
it. He's a dreamy guy. That makes
Very,
sense.
very
All right.
dreamy.
All right, the hotly contested battle of the Michaels. We saw a battle that pitted a talk show host against a hotshot lawyer, 2 Oscar nominees against one another, an Olympic record holder that could blow all of them out of the water. What would happen here? There can only be one, guys. The sexiest Michael is...
I'm not surprised. This is Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan.
You are the sexiest Michael alive. Congratulations.
Let me tell you something.
This is my
people
favorite week
respond
of all
so
time.
strongly to him. Like he truly, he has like emerged over the past year or
He's
so.
also very talented too.
He is.
Talents, hots, he's got it all. All right, the next big one, the sexiest Jason. So we saw stars from all over for this one. We saw 3 musicians up against each other, Jason Mraz, Jason Derulo, and Jason Aldean. But can they beat out movie stars Jason Statham and Jason Momoa?
I think
don't know.
I actually do know this. I think it's Momoa.
It's Jason Momoa.
It is Jason Momoa. Yeah, okay.
The Aquaman himself. I think he should actually be like the next sexiest man alive cover.
Is it the eyebrows? Is it the beard? Is it
It's
the
just like
entire
the
thing?
bod, the hair, look at it, the smoldering look.
Okay, a lot of people can smolder.
It's time for our real moment of the day.
Brought to you by Ocean Spray Pink Light Cranberry Juice Drink.
And it is Sexy Man Week, and today we are featuring the sexiest men and their pets. First up, singer Usher. Watch. Usher's got it bad for his adorable golden doodle.
This is Scarlett on an average day. She's always chilling. And yes, I'm talking about you.
The R&B singer won Scarlett at a charitable auction. He says she goes everywhere with him and has had a huge impact on his life.
She's my road dog, man. Some of my hardest times, she's always there with me.
And he's not the only one who adores Miss Scarlett.
My boys, they love her. They don't walk her, but they love her. She's actually a very spoiled dog.
Usher gushes that having Scarlett in his life gives him unconditional love.
That's the best part about having a man's best friend. She's going to sleep. There it is.
Hey Usher, we'd fall asleep in your arms any day.
Stay with us, guys. Overlord star John Magaro spilling on the intense Marine training he did to prep for filming the action horror movie. Plus, we're live with singer-songwriter Bastian Baker. That's coming up in just a little bit.
Is there anything more sexy than a man who loves his pet? I don't know, Jeremy. But let's check in on our question of the day. We've been asking you to send in your pics of your own pets.
All right, here we Oh, look at these.
That looks like a stock photo.
Kind of like, kind of like T-Swift's cat. The
Don't
Dalmatian.
scroll on the Dalmatian so fast.
Look at that little baby.
Oh, I
Cute.
like the Dalmatian.
Keep sending in those
cute.
tweets, and now we move on to this.
Tonight, the Real Housewives of New Jersey returns, and 2 new housewives join the bunch, including Jennifer Aiden. Now, we pitted her against co-star Dolores Catania in the game of Housewives Trivia. Take a look. We want to play a little game here. We're going to put you to the test with some Real Housewives of New Jersey trivia. Here's the twist. Dolores is going to go head-to-head against you. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
So whoever says the answer first wins. Very easy.
I think she's got one up on me, but I'm ready.
Why?
I'm ready, because you've been around the block a little bit more than
Well,
me.
we'll see. All right, first
I've
one
been
is
around the block more than her. That's what she tells her husband, too.
First one's easy. Teresa has written several cookbooks. Name one of them.
Skinny Italian.
Standing strong.
That's not a cookbook.
That's not, no.
Oh.
Skinny Italian, you win. All right, next one.
I won't win again, don't worry.
How many times was Danielle Staub engaged?
28.
19 times.
It's 20. So you're actually closer.
I'm closer. 19 times?
She was engaged 20 times.
But there's been more time since that was 10 years ago.
Maybe.
You guys have lost
She's
count.
All right.
All right.
How many times was Danielle Staub married?
3.
Yep.
Closer to her than I was, so.
That's it. All right, next one. How many sisters does Melissa Gorga have?
2. Sometimes 3 because people say I look like her sister.
The answer is 2.
2.
Possibly 3. All right, next
They're
one.
nice. I like her.
What is the origin of Kim D's store name Posh?
The origin?
Yeah, like where does it?
Posh by Kim D?
Yeah, like where?
The acronym meaning, like what does it stand for?
It's right
I
there.
know what Teresa said about it. I'll
Posh
tell you
Spice. Posh Spice is the origin. That's
is
why
it
she
really?
named it. Yeah.
Wow, we didn't know
Learning
that.
I didn't
things.
know that. I only know the acronym that Teresa said last season, which I will not repeat.
I think she spelled it wrong, so it doesn't matter.
All right, what was the name of Melissa Gorga's first single?
On display.
Yep. Ding, ding, ding. You got it. Wow, you guys both, you were really good, Jennifer.
I'm telling you, I'm a fan.
Just stay before I fall down.
Ooh, that's a clip from Bastian Baker's hit single Stay. And we've got the singer-songwriter with us now live to tell us all about his new self-titled album. Bastian, welcome to the show. Hello.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Love the coat.
I know. I have
Not many people can perfect the layback on the couch, and you have
Right?
got it, my friend.
And we're working on that.
We're working on this a little bit. All right, let's talk about this. You made your American debut with a new album. It dropped in October called Bastian Baker.
Absolutely.
Talk about making it big here and kind of the significance of that, right? And then the genre thing and where it sort of fits in.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm originally from Switzerland,
Right.
which is not necessarily known for like being a
Country music hub.
Yeah.
Country music hub, basically. And so I've been good friend with Shania Twain for a couple of years now, and she really was the one telling me that I should try to spend more time in the U.S. and how important this market was. I obviously knew about it, but the fact that she took me on tour with her really helped me start here.
Yeah, so how did you approach the album knowing this would be your American debut? And like, what's the biggest difference between your American and European fans?
Well, the fans that I've seen here are basically mostly the fans I saw at Shania Twain's shows who had no clue who I was before I started the show, but then who, showed up at the signing session. There were hundreds of them, and I find them very wild, very, very cool. They sang along and they were clapping their hands. They're just, awesome people.
Not a bad introduction to that audience to have Shania Twain. Talk to me about working with her. What's she like as a musician, as a touring partner?
Oh, she's amazing. Her and I have been good friends for 6 years now. And she's just, as a person, she's wonderful, very caring, and always been very supportive of my music also. We talk a lot about music together, and, touring with her is just like being on tour with my family, so it's really awesome.
I don't fangirl out that much, but Shania Twain is a legend. Like,
It is
I grew
next
up on
level.
Shania Twain.
Yeah.
I mean,
He is.
she actually discovered you while you were performing in Switzerland,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So can you please tell me about this, and like, what was it like having her ask to meet you?
Well, the funny thing was I didn't know it was going to be her because basically after I was done performing, someone came to me and was like, hey, this Canadian singer wants to meet you. I was like, all right, let's do this. And we had lunch, and it was Shania Twain, and my family was there, and we have this funny story with my dad, who had no idea who she was, and basically asked her, so what do you do? And she was very humble about it. She said, well, I'm a singer. And he was like, oh, my son is also in the industry. If you need some contact or some help,
help you out here.
just let us know.
Were you like, Dad? No.
That is hilarious.
Yeah.
So talk to me about now that you know who Shania Twain is, she's probably got some tips maybe along the way for breaking into music. What has her most valuable piece of advice been for you?
I think she taught me how to always try to, stay myself and not follow the trends. And, she's the perfect example. I mean, she invented the crossover thing.
Right.
She was country, went pop, and if you see one of her shows, it's a rock show. And I think that's something that really inspires me, because I don't like to be just one specific genre of music. I like all different kinds, and that's what's on the record. It's all different kinds of music.
That's really good advice.
Yeah, I like that. Now, you performed at the Urban Zen Foundation Gala last year, had Andy Cohen in tears with your rendition of Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah. What was that moment like? And did he come up to you and talk to you afterwards?
No, we unfortunately didn't have a chance to meet after that, but that was a very special moment, and I think it was in Vogue. They said that, and just one of those moments, you know, music is beautiful. It brings people together and it has all those different emotions you can go through thanks to music. And that was just one of those special moments.
I think even though you didn't talk to him in tears says all that needs to be said. Let's talk about this. I already complimented your style. You got the jacket.
Got
We're looking
great
at your
style.
Instagram feed. You seem to be like this style influencer. Look at this. How do you take a photo?
I was just having a drink.
Yeah, right. That's just a casual timeout. Tell us about your style. Anything we can keep a lookout for in 2019. Maybe me particularly. Give me your advice.
Well, I just very, you know, I keep it very casual. I don't want to think about it too much, so I keep it very simple. It's also a lot of black and white.
Yeah.
Never too crazy. I just need to feel comfortable.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Hey, in New York, a lot of people wear black. So can't let you go without a quick game called 6 Things. So it's a little get to know
Get
you
ready.
game.
All right.
Kind of going off your song 6 from the new album. We're gonna ask you 6 questions so we can learn about
I'm
you.
ready.
Ready? Okay, first question. How often do you take a selfie?
Oh my God, not that often. Well, I do take a lot of selfies after the shows because the fans come in and meet me, and I'd rather take it myself because sometimes it takes a little longer when they do
And
it.
you have to know the lighting and the angles.
You know, yeah,
And of
exactly.
course-
So I got this all figured.
Yeah,
Okay.
I ended up with this question. What do you wear to bed?
Absolutely nothing.
And yourself also.
Free sleeper.
You and
Our sexiest man alive also sleeps
has
too.
a lot in
All right.
common.
There you go.
Biggest pet peeve.
Biggest what?
Pet peeve?
I don't know what that
Like
is.
something that bothers you.
Oh, people who make a lot of noise when they eat. That is a sound
like
that I
a
cannot.
snappy- like a slappy
that is a
mouth.
sound I cannot stand with
Yeah,
noodles
the
and stuff.
smacking.
Yeah,
Look,
basically.
your music career's going. When the first paycheck came in, what did you spend the money on? The first paycheck.
I went out with my family and bought dinner for everybody.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, that was a very cool moment. We also, one of the moments I remember from the very beginning was the first song I heard my song on the radio. We knew it was coming on the radio, so we were at home with my family and we were waiting with the champagne. And then when the song dropped, we just like popped the champagne.
Oh, that's a great
That's
moment.
adorable.
And cheered. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. It was 7 years ago.
Yeah. All right, biggest guilty pleasure we'd be surprised to know.
Biggest guilty pleasure.
It could be a food, it could be an
Well,
activity.
I'm a foodie. I'm definitely a foodie. That's what I spend most of my money on is good food and good wines. So, you know, my favorite place is Japan. And I did fly to Japan once to spend 10 days holiday and just go on like
So nice.
a food adventure there.
Yeah.
So,
Do you have like a show you binge watch or anything? Any TV shows that you're into?
well, I'll tell you that. Basically, my favorite show still is Friends.
Oh wow, okay, yeah.
Literally.
great.
What's your good minute?
That's like every Christmas we're in our chalet in the Swiss mountains and
Okay.
we just watch like all the episodes
Yeah.
of Friends. I love it.
All right, really quick, ideal date night.
Ideal date night. Well, it'll start with a drink. You know, we'll go to a nice cocktail bar or something. Then I want to take you to a nice Italian restaurant. We'll share a bottle of wine, some food, and then we'll go out, dance a little bit, and then, you know, I can't tell you too much about what happens
Yeah,
next.
All right,
Should
I'm
I
sold.
leave?
All right,
No, I feel like I
Bastion,
should
thank
just
you
walk
so
out.
much
This
for
is
stopping
working
by. Everyone, make sure to check out the new album, Bastian Baker. It is out now.
What's inside that church? What happens to those people? They have been given a purpose.
Overlord hits theaters on Friday, follows American paratroopers that drop behind enemy lines before D-Day, and what they find is not pretty.
One of the stars of the film, John Magaro, stopped by and told me about the intense training the actors did with a Marine.
I could never make it as a Marine. I could never make it as a soldier of any sort, and I'm very thankful to our soldiers who can do that. But it's tough. It's tough. We did a very abridged version. We did 5 days, which is nothing, and I complained every second of it. And I walked away in total pain. And the other guys, when they got back from boot camp, said, "Oh, it was such a fun. It was such a great experience." And I said, "No, it was miserable."
Well, luckily for the cast, boot camp allowed them the chance to bond. So when they were filming in Italy, it made for some really fun nights.
We were living in this kind of apartments in London, and I think our neighbors hated us because it was like a dorm. It became a dorm, and we would just hang out and play FIFA in Jovan's room, and then go to Matilda's room and have wine all night long. And not all night, because we were working, obviously, but,
All night,
but on
all
the
nighters.
weekends, all night. And then we'd have barbecues at Julius's house. It became a family.
Awesome.
All right, thanks for watching. Have a great day.
Bye, guys.